Expired is what they've called me time and time again, and just like them, I was tired of waking up finding myself in the same situations, with the same problems staring back at the same men. The same men who all had different names: insecurity, condemnation, rejection, lust, shame. They must have wanted nothing more but to define me as a playing piece to a player's game. My name might as well have been the battery sold separately, because the voids in my soul led me to think that a woman like myself needed the things of this world so desperately. I was expired. So the more I held on to my past, the more my morals were non-existent, stripped, gone. They were non-existent, stripped, and gone. Not even a cast could mask the stashed trash and brokenness within me. My identity was left out on the counter, spoiling. I was troubled and toiled with trials, rather than living in my God-given royalty. Having toxic relationships and locked-lip relations with men who just wanted to be wanted. They tied me to their hips and called all the shots, as though they deserved to be worshipped and treated like gods. Because I sipped on the poisonous perspective of love and intimacy that I define in a way that deeper and deeper slipped into the voids I portrayed, just so I would not be thrown away but be defined as a keeper. But it wasn't until I found Jesus that I found anything sweeter. And in my mind, I knew it was time to ask God to get on this, to help me get through these storms so I could start over. Because can I be honest? Christianity at the temperature of lukewarm had never felt colder. Because at times I felt so distant from God, so far apart, and in some moments of life I'd wake up with such a heavy heart that I couldn't even talk to God, so I would just ask Him to hold me until I came to a place where my lips could speak scriptures of spiritual coping. I was fighting for air my lungs needed to breathe. I could no longer suffocate in a world that brainwashed me into a neurological disease. A world that handed me drink after drink with this quench-type thirst, not knowing anything about how, if I'm not careful, I'm bound by a curse, or how I no longer had any self-control, and how everything about myself I was supposed to protect, it stole. But we're all just having fun, right? Despite the fact that I wake up the next day in a spiritual battle and self-hatred fight. So as I sat there, expired, I was officially drained. At that point in my life, my only desire was to find eternal change. Because being expired no longer received my agreement, but this was a title placed upon my flesh when God spoke to me. Leave it. So I've been brought to a place where I choose freedom rather than captivity. I choose for my arms to be lifted in praise rather than chained. I choose a heavenly kingdom over world-founded plasticity, and from my heart to be shifted because of who reigns. There is so much to press forward to and so much wisdom to gain. So I continue on seeking the light shining over my pain. Expired is what they've called me time and time again. But the only things with an expiration date label were the unstable mindset and lies I laid on the table the day that I chose a new life that God then let me begin. I'm no longer who I was before, because God knew that through His Spirit I'm divinely, righteously, and completely able. So each day I'm awakened by the voice of my Father, the face of my Lord, as He whispers, "My daughter, because of my grace we've won this war." So I've been sent here to ask you, what is He whispering to you? What do you need to leave or do so you can have freedom? Because just like me, you are no longer expired.